Bobby. We're pregnant.
Yeah.
You're gonna be a grandma and you're gonna be a grandpa.
Did you know?
Yeah, I didn't know.
I said to her, is she gonna tell us she's pregnant? Is she gonna tell us she's pregnant? Oh my God!
Hello.
One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good job. Oh my God. So beautiful.
Happy days. Went fishing with Grumpy. And I don't know, we're gonna go to Disneyland all the time. And have fun.
He's a perfect little guy.
He's six down home.
I know.
Hi everybody, welcome back to the vlogs. We have a very special person to introduce you to. This is Daniel Andris. He's 3 days old, born on June 24th, 2024 at 3:37 p.m., weighing 7 pounds and 3 ounces. And he is pure perfection, if I do say so myself. We are just in love and love and love. We tried to capture the labor process and the birth, but it was really a lot, and I truly have no idea how people do that. Like, the only thing you can really focus on is the pain, and like, of course, Bobby, the only thing he could focus on was like helping me, and so we got the footage that we got, and that's okay because it came out with the most beautiful baby. We have been here in the hospital for 6 days, and I can kind of
We'll walk through the whole like experience of like play by play what happened, kind of. And I did shoot a good amount of clips where I remember it, so you will definitely splice those clips in as we kind of like walk through the story. But suffice to say, didn't go exactly as planned, as I'm sure
yeah.
you guys probably expected, and this probably happens to most people. But
Yeah, I have a little bit of time right now, so I'll just kind of like do a run through. But as I don't know if people know, but I was scheduled to be induced on June 25th, and that was because every single person that we saw thought that he was going to be a big baby, and he was not a big baby. He was 7 pounds, but apparently his head on the ultrasound was measuring in the 97th percentile, his tummy was in the 94th, and we were thinking we were going to have like a 10-pounder on our hands. So that was the original plan, but I woke up on Saturday morning, so that would have been June 22nd, if he was born on the 24th, right?
yeah,
Yeah, I think it was the 22nd.
the 21st, I think.
Or the 21st. Woke up on Saturday morning, and my water had broke. Like, I think that's what woke me up, and I was like, oh my God. So we went to the hospital. I showered, packed my bag, did all the things. We get there. They check me out. We were there for we checked in at 12:30.
12:30, yeah.
And they did a whole bunch of tests. The first test was to test for like amniotic fluid to confirm that it was, in fact, my water that had broke. And that test had come back negative. And so we're like, what? That's so weird. They looked at a few other things. We did the test again. Second test came back positive. So like, okay, your water did break. So we're going to move forward with the induction.
Okay, we officially got the word that we are having the baby today. And we are staying at the hospital until we have the baby. So as you can see by Elizabeth's face, she's telling all of her friends and is extremely excited.
Best day ever.
That's crazy. But yeah, so we're just hanging out. Elizabeth's mom's getting us some food. We should be admitted to our room here soon. But what a day.
So I was it was like I was induced, but I also had my water break naturally, so it was kind of a combo. But I did take the cervix softener misoproxol, and I did take the Pitocin, which is like the synthetic form of oxytocin, which is what.
Way far ahead. Todd, the first night that you took miso was like living hell. You were in so much pain.
Yeah, so that's, again, Saturday night. So we check in, like, after they establish it's labor. We go into one of the rooms, and they give me an oral pill. It's misoproxol. And the first dose, I'm fine. Oh, my God, there's the clips. I'm like, labor's easy.
Yeah.
So far, I'm not really experiencing that much pain, so I'm sure that's probably going to change.
Well, let's make a note that she said labor is easy.
Yeah, Elizabeth was
So
like,
far, I'm
she
like,
was
what's
like-
the big deal?
she was like, labor is easy. She's like, I don't think I'll need an epidural at all or anything.
Like, I was totally doing good. Like, I felt contractions, but, you know, manageable. It was fine. Then they come around and they double the dose. Woo-hoo-hoo. I was knocked on my ass. Like, I was...
like 7 out of 10 pain contractions every 30 seconds for 5 hours straight.
You're right. I forgot. I already forgot.
I
That's
know.
how crazy that birth is that you forget. It was insane. Most of the time, like, you get a painful contraction or like a really big contraction, but it's good because you have a little bit of a break, so you have time to recover. But I never had that time. I had contractions stacked one on top of another for 5 hours straight. And I really didn't want to get an epidural at that point because I was so early
She was
on.
1 centimeter dilated. Like, it's so early.
I was 1 centimeter dilated, and I knew that, like, we could be there for days. And the problem with, like, getting an epidural is that you can no longer move and you can no longer eat any solids. And I'm like, I can't go that long, like days without eating and being in labor. So I was trying to push through. I got the laughing gas, and I feel like that really did help me. I don't know what I would have done if I didn't have that. So survived the night, had another dose of the miso in the morning. And I think from that miso, it didn't really do much for me. Like,
Yeah,
it kind of, after my uterus stopped doing the 5-hour contraction, oh, sorry. After my uterus stopped doing that, it kind of just was like chilled out, and it wasn't doing any contractions at all. So then that stalled the process. Hooked me up onto Pitocin. Did I have problems with Pitocin?
Pitocin, I don't believe you did. And shortly around the time you did the Pitocin, I think you were having a good amount of pain because you did get your epidural around the time that you did Pitocin.
Oh, because they were going to do another, yeah. They were like, we're going to increase the Pitocin and give you another miso.
Yeah.
And I said, I can't go through that again, so give me the epidural. So I got the epidural, and then I was pretty much pain-free after that, except for, like, when it came time to push. Pushing, mostly I didn't feel anything, but it got to a point where his head was kind of stuck in between my pelvis, and it was putting a ton of pressure, and that was, like, excruciating pain, and they were having a hard time getting a hold of, like, the anesthesia team, so I was just, like, in literal agony for like 30 minutes or something, and that was like excruciating. That was really, really bad. And we had an issue where I pushed for 4 hours, and 4 hours after that, they kind of are like, okay, you know, if you haven't made significant progress, then you sort of shift course of plans is what's standard. And I had not, like, done really anything in 4 hours, which was really hard. I got, like, the soft part of his head through, but none of his bones would fit through my bones.
Wait, did you talk about the part where we woke up the morning and you were like 3 or 4, you were 4 centimeters dilated, and then you like called someone and you were like, oh my God, I think I feel his head coming out.
Yeah, you saw that, didn't you?
Yeah, it was crazy. So she had what I can only describe as looked like
Here, sit down. They need to see your face more.
They can. I can't sit down there. I'm like too tall. Sorry, I'm cleaning up a room so we can get out of here. But I can only describe it as it looked like a water balloon was hanging out of her.
I was like, I think he's coming
She's
out of
like,
me.
I think his head is literally out of me right now. And then the doctor came and they're like, oh, like, so this is your 4 sac. So I guess there's like multiple amniotic sacs, I guess, or something
It was like
that.
fully intact, just hanging
It literally,
out.
yeah. And so then she ruptured that. And then after she ruptured that, the OB like checked what you were dilated, and because of that sac, they thought you were 4 centimeters, and they're like, "Oh, girl, you're 10 centimeters. You're ready to go." So like they had just been mistaken of how dilated she was the whole time, and we went from thinking she was 4 centimeters and thinking we had like a ton of time to go, to, "All right, girl, let's get ready to push." And so then we kind of prepped everybody. Everybody was like, "Oh my God, it's happening! It's happening!" So we started pushing. And that went on for 4.5 hours straight. And you can explain kind of what was happening with his head and your pelvis and stuff like that. I don't know if you want me to.
Yeah, I mean, I just kind of told them, like, his bones just wouldn't fit through my bones.
Yeah.
So...
You were exhausted.
Yeah, I was really, really, really tired because I had been laboring at that point for, like...
3 days.
3 days. And... then my doctor was like, okay, we're going to need to just go into a C-section. So it wasn't ideal. I was definitely really scared in the moment, really nervous about that. But I also was ready to like kind of be done with the whole labor process. So there was like a lot of emotions with having to do that. But we went ahead, after she told me that, like it was 30 minutes and I was in the operating room. And because I had pushed him and he had gone lower, they had to push him back up, which I was like, I wish you never told me that because that means I did all that work for literally nothing. And I ended up bleeding a lot more than what was normal, so then I was severely anemic. So that made it really hard to recover from the C-section at first because the first 2 days I couldn't even get out of bed. I couldn't stand because I was so dizzy and lightheaded, and that was not fun. And I had to kind of recover from like pushing and a C-section. So it's been a lot on my body. I feel like it was a lot harder than I thought it would be physically, mentally, but I mean, it's worth it a million times over. But yeah, it was a lot. I'm still processing everything. But I'm really happy because we've been here in the hospital for like 6 days. I haven't had any fresh air, haven't, had any good home cooked meals or anything. I'm just ready. I'm just ready to go home, see Coco. I'm gonna get him dressed in his new outfit we just ate. So we're staying upright because we spit up a lot. And then when Daddy gets closer to finishing loading up the car, I'm gonna get Mr. Man all dressed and we're gonna go home.